have you all here on our channel. It is expected that you will watch the videos in their entirety and give comments at the end of each video. Cathedral House, perched above Glasgow's Necropolis, is said to be one of the city's most haunted structures. Be very careful moving forward if the proximity to the massive cemetery scared you. Stories from Cathedral House range from the eerie to the horrific, including cases of paperboys who were strangled. This building, which served as a halfway house for inmates just freed from the adjacent Duke Street prison, was constructed in 1896. It was notorious for its horrible living conditions and for housing some of the worst offenders in Scotland at the time. Although Duke Street continued to serve as a women's jail until its demolition in the 1950s, many inmates were transferred there when Barlinnie Jail was established in the 1980s. The boundary wall, which is shared with Cathedral House, is the only surviving portion of the jail that is visible today. After a brief stint as a Sunday school and housing for certain employees, the halfway house eventually became the property of Glasgow Cathedral. A couple from Glasgow bought it in October 2018 and rebuilt it after it became a hotel in the 1990s. The demolition of Duke Street has led many to believe that the souls of those killed there have relocated to Cathedral House. Susan Newell, the last woman to be hung in Scotland, was one of many inmates who met their maker in the jail. Susan was strolling along the street on June 20th, 1923, with a big package pushed by a cart. The peculiar mound was reported to the authorities by the locals. After her capture, authorities discovered the lifeless corpse of John Johnston, a 13-year-old kid, in her cart. It was strangling that killed him, and Susan's husband admitted as much. Susan was the first woman to be killed in Glasgow in 70 years, and the last to ever do so, after a guilty verdict in her trial. She was hung on October 10th, 1923. Legend has it that this ghostly lady, who is short in stature and disappears just as suddenly, is one of the most visible in the hotel. Some say other inmates' souls are still floating throughout the hotel, but the most popular story has two spectral children residing on the building's penthouse level. One of the upper stories was a bathtub where a mother supposedly drowned her children. People have reported seeing them, hearing them chuckle, or even feeling them brush up against their legs. There are rumors that the Necropolis sends ghosts creeping into the hotel, in addition to the remnants of Duke Street prison. Those feeling very courageous may even arrange to visit the Necropolis and then have a candlelight vigil at Cathedral House. The White Woman is one of the most well-known specters in the graveyard. Visitors to the cemetery are said to be watched by a lady who purportedly haunts the graves of 3 individuals who perished in a tramcar accident in 1933. There have been many reports of paranormal activity in the area around Cathedral House, and some have even attempted to provide evidence of the afterlife. Using cutting-edge technology, GhostFinders Scotland conducted an investigation in 2005. Eerie tri-field and electromagnetic field measurements were captured, along with the appearance of visual abnormalities in both moving and static images. Even though the hotel now has a whole new appearance, thanks to the renovations and fancy accommodations, people still book stays there in the hopes of having a ghostly encounter.